gentlemen, welcome to the Owlet All-Stars mid-season. What are we calling these? Meme pugs? Making fun of the
Roasted
team's pugs?
pugs.
Roasted pugs? Good enough. Anyways, I'll be your play-by-play caster, Akronator. I'm joined with Misfit and Joey on production. How you feeling, Misfit?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I'm very excited for roasted pugs because I finally get to say what I'm actually thinking about these players. I don't have to be nice and be like, "Oh, they're doing their best." I can actually be like, "No, these kids are just terrible and they have no idea what they're doing." And it's fine. It's honest. This is what they signed up for, so they can't get mad at me.
Well, I'm not sure if that's entirely how it works, but I guess we'll figure that much out once we get into it and they watch the stream for themselves. It looks like we have a reasonable collection of quite a few players and perhaps support staff across the entire league, if my memory is serving me correctly.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see who we've gotten here. I'm very excited to see Joe God especially. He will be in our at least our first round of pugs, which I'll be excited about. I've had the pleasure of having this guy on Nest and casting with him, and he's always a great time. And I can't wait to see how good his Hammond is, how good that one trick he loves so much really is. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure enough,
Yeah.
I believe we're just getting the teams ready in the lobby. This is probably going to be mostly scuff. This is really just here for the memes and the lulls, folks. So don't take this too seriously, I suppose.
Yeah, no. These obviously, these guys are gonna do some weird things. Pugs at Owlet is always a very, very fun experience. I know from personal experience. No one really gives it their all, but there's still a pretty fun level of gameplay. I'll be curious. I'm not sure if we will do any goats maps tonight. Typically, there's always at least one goats map when we do Outlet Pugs, but I am unsure if we'll go for that just because, the format and all. It would be fun to roast some goats pugs though. I would very much enjoy that.
I'd honestly be surprised if some of these players were around when goats was a thing. I mean, that was what, 2 years ago now?
Oh yeah, no, but
Um,
we have definitely some people who have been here that long. Nano Rocket specifically has been, I believe, here since Owlet season one. So he was blessed with the opportunity to play goats during Owlet. Actually, very very good for him. Not sure about the others though. I know a lot of the people in the lobby right now are more recent. Came in a little bit later. Specifically, players such as McNewbie, Sempra, Clown Dog. Those guys all came in around season 3.5, and that was definitely not when Goats was around. They have not had the opportunity to scrim goats ever. So it would be interesting to see how they fare in such a composition.
yeah, I mean, the balance has changed entirely. The play style isn't exactly valid anymore. Looks like for now we're sticking on quick play settings for Lijiang Tower. Not that it really matters for quick play and control, but if we're gonna embrace the scuff, we gotta embrace the scuff to its fullest extent. I believe
Yes.
they're just getting some technical
I
difficulties
absolutely, I
with.
absolutely have no idea
I see.
why we haven't started yet. We probably will very soon. I can promise you that we will start eventually. All right.
At some point
Eventually is
tonight.
not a very specific place, but I can promise you that we will be getting into this.
At some point tonight, Overwatch will be played, but
That is very true.
in typical outlet fashion, the players are currently about 15 minutes late, so I think I've yet to cast a game that actually went on exactly at 8 when it was supposed to. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're good. We're going into it. Lijiang Tower, let's see how these
Now arriving at
glorious
Lijiang Tower.
players can feed their hearts.
Yeah, I actually really do like the Lunar New Year variant of Lijiang Tower. I mean, Lijiang Tower in general is just a good map. The control map type is one of my favorites, I would say, right up there with Escort. And I just find that the gameplay experience on these control maps is very fun. And I always like to see the event maps that Blizzard rolls out here. I'm a big fan of Winter Wonderland, Blizzard World as well. I think that's a very, very cool map. But the Lunar New Year one with all the fireworks all over the place, I just think it's really cool.
As long as they don't mess with the map geometry. I know, like, the Halloween Eichenwald has a fence
Ready
where there
for
shouldn't
battle.
be, and it takes away a good boop spot towards second point. So I know some people are touch and go about some of the holiday maps.
Yeah, no, I actually think there is one of those on on Hollywood as well. One of the car turns into like one of the cars like near the attacker's spawn on first point. turns into some hay bales, and the height changes so that a Doomfist rollout no longer works on that map. Which can be very frustrating, I bet, for some of those players.
I'm sure the Doom 1 tricks are reeling in their graves because they certainly are going to stay alive long enough. Okay, so what do we even have here? We have a Wrecking Ball composition and double bubble. Well, Growlu didn't last very long whatsoever. I don't think he was expecting the Widowmaker to come out. A little bit of a dive coming in from Juggle God. He does get that boop almost immediately, and this is just a cleanup. Whoever let McNoobie onto Widowmaker is probably regretting that at this moment in time unless they're on his team.
Yeah, Growlu doing the classic move of feeding as soon as possible, but now he's actually picking up some kills here. He got the resin from Merc. He's actually now turned this back. Doesn't look like he will be able to contest the point at all, though.
No, it looks like he's currently in a 1v1 with the Brigitte, but still dies to McNoobie, so I'm not entirely sure how that's happening. But the Widowmaker is still very much a threat in this map, and once again, the kills are going in favor of the red team pretty handily.
Yeah, no, the blue team right now is just playing terribly. They have no idea what they're doing. Growlu especially is just feeding his brains out. He's having to type to McNoobie in chat to get out some of that pent-up anger he's feeling. And I frankly, I don't blame him. He's kind of getting trashed right now. We'll have to see how that
almost
plays
fell
out.
Okay, well, the Widowmaker's out of the way, so if Pharah's going to have any amount of viability, it's going to be right about now, but he's kind of facing down a Genji. Please don't die to one of these. Oh, no! Okay, well, the Pharah is now in the drink, as well as Raph. I'm not sure how that happened. A whole lot of people just falling off the map this round. It looks like Juggle God's just having the time of his life getting to play instead of cast for once.
Yeah, no, his ball is actually doing pretty well. You know, this is roasted Pugs, but I do gotta give him a little props. It's much better than how I expected. Growlu dies once again. He seems to be incapable to live longer than 30 seconds this entire map. He seems content to feed his brains out. It's like the one thing he's good at in this game.
The Rock does not have a health bar, as Growlu soon figured out, but it might have been a tactical feed as he went over to the McCree. Not for long, though. I guess the mines looked a bit too tasty. I don't know exactly what adjective you can use for that, but Bread is now in the backline, causing a bit of a ruckus, electrocuting anyone with his oversized taser. But Mushroom's really not having any of it. As you can see, Raph just has had enough of the giant gorilla on the field, but he's back regardless. Still, red team taking control of this point. Not really much you can do with a giant wrecking ball swinging around on points. They have really no one to deal with him. In fact, Bread wall to the pile driver, and that is just kind of caught out. Completely alone, wondering why the rest of their team is not able to do anything.
Yeah, no, the blue team right now just seems content on throwing as hard as possible, and now Sempra's gonna fall to McNoobie. Alcura's gonna bolt in their spawn to try to slow him down a little bit. I don't think this nano on Growlu is gonna do any good though. And yeah, well, Growlu, of course, getting stopped before he can get to the point. Terrible player, terrible choice to go to the Doomfist there. Classic Growlu, as it were.
Well, that was like, what, the fourth swap? So he went from like Pharah to Doomfist to McCree back to Doomfist, and couldn't really find anything, so it just looked a little bit uncomfortable, to say the least.
Yeah. Doesn't really seem like he knew what he wanted to be there. He was going for the Pharah initially, but he was getting mad at McNoobie, so then he went to the Kree, but of course Growlu can't play hit stand. And then he goes to the Doomfist, and of course Growlu can't play Overwatch. Just gets destroyed even with the Nano. It's just how it goes for Growlu. He's just a bad player. What can you say?
Well, he's opted with the Tracer now, so at the very least, if he dies to the Widowmaker, it's really no one else to blame other than himself at this point, if that weren't the case already. McNoobie sticking on the borderline aim hacks at this point, you know, watching his sight lines, no real pressure, as to be expected thus far. I mean, the blue team has barely been able to get out of the choke point, let alone contest the Widowmaker. Although, as I say that, you do have Growlu winning the 1v1, getting a little bit of revenge, a little bit of BM as well. In the fight, otherwise, nothing much has happened, so it seems like it's really up to the hit scan players on both of these teams to carry, and whichever one can pretty much opens up the rest of the fight. Juggle God, as I say that, though, will find Sempra somehow. I'm not sure how the Doomfist gets taken out by a wrecking ball, but that just happened. This is now the reality we live in. Looks like blue team may actually get some control percentage for the first time this stream. Really.
Yeah, we got to see a nice nuke there from Merc onto Mushroom, who was horribly out of position there on the Brigitte, which of course is to be expected. Brigitte players do not understand Overwatch in the slightest, do not know how to play this game. We see Mushroom demonstrating that with his awful feet off the map. Just, you hate to see it, really. Sumper's going to be on the Bastion now. I actually think this is hilarious. The Doomfist is not a good pick for him for several reasons. Alcura, actually, as I said, that is going to feed right into the hands of Sumpra. So already getting value out of that pick.
Why? Just living up to their namesake, not really doing much against the Bastion as Lucio, but then again, what were you expecting? Precisely a frog versus a automatic turret that can walk around. Once again, trying to touch the point, this time the Bastion not really opting to shoot at the flying frog, but I guess there are bigger targets, in this case a giant hamster with their own wrecking ball. Not sticking around for that much longer, though, as they quickly disengage. And you have a little bit of a Reddit Lucio duel towards the back of points, but you do have the impetuous Bread getting in the way of the 1v1, not respecting the official Reddit duel.
That's some sacred ground that Brett is treading on right now. That is when two Lucios are fighting it out, you let them fight. There is no other way that goes. You cannot interfere with that. So Brett making a horrible mistake that might actually cost you the fight.
They are at now 69+%. Nice. A little bit of a graviton surge thrown in from McNewbie. I think they realized where the aim hacks were coming from and decided to deal with it rather quickly. It's really one of the only players in the lobby who can hit a headshot at the moment in time. At least sending him back to spawn will allow blue team to get into one fight territory, so this game going a little bit closer than perhaps we thought, round to round, not necessarily in any individual round. The Bastion just kind of standing there, eating a handful of arrows to the face, and McNewbie back in the field, just going to toggle once again and get a couple kills before dying to... Oh, Grau actually somehow stole that kill from Brett. I'm not sure where that came from, but you take those.
Final blow is a final blow. And they actually will flip the point here, as it appears the members of the blue team have C9 just a little bit. They are getting some kills, though, so could go back in their favor. Sempra, I have no idea how Sempra's getting kills on the Doomfist. It's easily one of his worst characters. I mean, Raph and Y are just feeding directly into his hands at this point.
I think no one told McNewbie that these are supposed to be for fun Pugs, because it seems like he's actually trying. He's one of the only people lighting up the kill feed as consistently as they are. It seems to be a bit unfair at times, realistically, as everyone else is just kind of melting. You see Bread falling right there, as well as Joggle God, just causing quite a bit of havoc. Not really finding too many kills, but I mean, what are you going to expect from a lone wrecking ball? You kind of need someone else to shoot the targets.
No chance.
Yeah, this one is actually going to go the way of the blue team. You mentioned that that McNewbie's tryharding on the Hanzo, but in reality, I think it's Growlu's the one who's trying hard after getting dumped on first map, going back over to one of his more signature characters on the Tracer, and he has just been hounding McNewbie this entire match to almost no avail.
Well, at the very least, we get to see control center as well, so if they want to try and run something like a brawl, we might be seeing that come out, but who knows at this point. They haven't really been running any semblance of a real composition outside of like the Zarya and the Winston, but that's kind of the only thing that's similar to a double bubble composition. The supports, the DPS are a little bit off.
Yeah, now we're going to see Growlu and Sumper go over to the classic Genji Doom dive. Everyone loves this composition, especially when it's your opponents, because they get to see such a trash comp being run, and they're just like, free SR, we'll take that. But on the opposing side, we also see an equally bad comp with Zen Lucio being played. It looks like actually Merc is going to switch over. Now they're running... No, they are still running Zen Lucio, excuse me. It was Merc who swapped off the... it was the blue team who swapped off the Lucio, that's my mistake.
A little bit of a dive coming in from Bread, although he quickly figures out that's not really going to last very long, much like Merc falling immediately to Joko God, as well as Y, and McNewbie falling to Growlu, so actually he's the one who's toggling now, as it appears, finding quite a few kills. Somehow they're not managing to take him out. He even gets another few final blows, so lighting up the kill feed, and maybe it's just the Widowmakers are getting a little bit extra damage in the lobby settings, who knows.
Yeah, it seems Growlu was tired of being rolled and turned on his aim hacks, because we all know that Growlu has terrible mechanics and can't get anything done otherwise. Alcura actually getting some work done on the Zen, though. This could actually turn this fight around.
Oh, geez, with Nano Rocket getting very low there. Not quite understanding what the shield is used for, but it's fine because he survives. Why? Carrying quite a bit, keeping the Reinhardt alive and getting a decent amount of kills. Don't exactly know how Doomfist dies to a Junkrat trap, but that, once again, is the reality we are now living in, as the kills are getting staggered in left and right. A little bit of a Rhine duel in the corridor. The Shatter completely whipped. I'm not sure what Nano Rocket is going for there, but yeah, you get the kill eventually.
Yeah, Semper there showing us just how hard his feeding capabilities, or how good his feeding capabilities are, I should say. Showing us that he has terrible awareness and punches directly into a junk trap, killing him instantly. Very impressive play there from the trash Doomfist of Sembra.
Nano Rocket desperately trying to hide behind this pillar because, as you can imagine, with Lucio Zen, the healing is basically non-existent, so pretty much every amount of damage he takes is almost permanent. Less so now with the Transcendence up. We'll get the better of Bread once again in the Rhine duel. This time pinning him into the wall, but Growlu will actually be the first one to draw blood in this fight. Bread somehow getting the better of Nano Rocket despite getting charged into a wall. It looks like the blue team are poised to take this after just a little bit of target focus applied. If they can kill the Wrecking Ball. There you go. Oh dear, Bread coming in with the Shatter. We'll find only one, but that's really the only one they need. Raph looking for something with the Riptire, not sure if it will. No, how do you... There are so many things happening this map that really shouldn't ever happen.
Oh, yeah, that's just how Owlet Pugs go, and that's what makes it so enjoyable to watch. Growlu there showing us once again how the Council of Anime Girls DPS has no awareness, completely unaware of a Junkrat sneaking up behind him. He must have his headset turned off, or it's out of battery, one of the two, and he dies instantly. And now he will find a pick on him at Kanubi, so making up for it, as it were.
Growlu still remaining alive. I don't think anyone has been able to kill him prior to Juggle God just there. So finally the Spider taken out. Y up on the high ground, hoping to duel the Brahita of Merc, but I mean, that's not exactly a duel that Merc seems all too willing to take, hiding behind basically any wall they can find. Y instead just raining death from on high. I guess they would if they would hit shots.
Yes, that is very strange there. Bread there with a nice little main tank
Growlu?
reference over. Growlu just gets destroyed by Alcor off top. And now it actually looks like this could go. There's just going to be a leapfrog up top. That's crazy. Y gets Growlu, Sempra gets Y, then Raph gets Sempra, all back to back to back.
Looks like Clown Dog wanted to go and get in on the action as well, but quickly realized that Raph probably had the better of that engagement and backed up. Kills coming in left and right, but the blue team is still in favor on point. As I say that, Juggle God is trying to clean up point, especially with the Nano Boost. A little bit of a misplaced minefield there. No one was in that direction, although Sempra, to his credit, almost recalled into the mines. A little bit of a stall coming in. It looks like Red will retake control of the point in... not quite a C9, but the... Probably just kind of staring at the control percentage ticking up.
Yeah, Mushroom here is quite low. He's on a character that he's very terrible at. Mushroom, of course, being a brig one-trick, does not have very good mechanics, so the Ana, not a very solid pick for this red team. We'll have to see how it plays out for them. And we see him just nanoing a Zarya who has bubble. What is this guy thinking?
Have a little bit of engagement going on in the coast side of the map, but they quickly come back inside. Juggle God getting incredibly low. Will jump off the map? Or no, just fall, I suppose. Or get booped off by Merc, rather. Blue team once again coming back with more kills. Y kind of wasting the Transcendence trying to save Juggle God there. So distinct lack of heals when they actually needed it. The grab in the corner. Actually, we'll get Mushroom at the very end, but the break one trick on the Frog will get meleeed by the Spider, and that will end their life. We do have some final touches here from Nano Rocket. It looks like Vi's coming back on the Moira, but it isn't really going to matter when the kills are going completely in the blue team's favor.
Yeah, McNewby's calling it a hard support diff. I don't know if I quite agree with that. This game isn't really an anything diff. This is a chaos difference, if you will, because it's just whichever team plays the weirder composition seems to be winning. And yeah, that's going to be our first round our first map win going to the blue team. It looked like they were in a little bit of trouble there as we got into our first map, but they're able to turn it around and win the next two maps afterwards. So congrats to them, I guess.
Is it really congratulations though? I think being involved in playing this is a little bit of a stain on their record from what I've just seen.
Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely not the most competitive version of Overwatch that I've ever spectated in my life. It is pretty interesting to watch though, but now we will have to take it back to lobby as these teams are going to have to be redrafted and reselected. So I believe we're going to have to throw it to a very short break while we wait for that to happen. Won't have to stall at the lobby for another 15 minutes. So thank you all for watching that first map. We'll be right back with some Roasted Pugs right after this.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me from. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me.
And we are back with the Owlet roasted pugs. Have sorted up the teams a little bit. I believe Joe is even going to be playing. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but we're going to get through this together, I promise. So have you'll see the teams when we get into the map. The next map being real, so I'm not expecting any semblance of plans. It's probably just going to be like Doomfist Torbjorn or something like that. Whatever is the most fun to play at that exact moment in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me too much if that were the case. We aren't even doing roles in these pugs. People are just getting drafted left and right. There is no one's queued for support or DPS or tank or anything along those lines. It's just you select 5 other players and you run it down mid. That's kind of the way this is going right now. I am going to be very excited to watch how Joey decides to play this. He's playing on 2 PCs right now, so I think he's got one of these open on his laptop and another open on his desktop. And I'm pretty sure he's probably just producing from his desktop and then playing with like one hand on his keyboard or something on his laptop. That's got to be how he's doing this. If not, then I mean, I don't know. Maybe the dude just got 4 hands or something. Maybe he's playing with his feet. I don't know. You know, Joey is a very versatile human being, so it wouldn't surprise me if he finds a way to make it work.
Well, we'll see in just a moment. There is the potential that he picks a hero that he can just kind of like... Okay, I was gonna say he could pick a hero that he doesn't really have to try on, like Mercy, but he's now on Tracer, so this is going to get exceedingly interesting. I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna work, but if we see Joey randomly sit by and stand there for a brief period outside of the fight, we can assume he's probably operating the camera. so coming into this, yeah, these compositions are pretty much what I was expecting. A little bit more semblance of an actual team on the red side of things on the offense, whereas the defense, Ryan Roadhog, yeah, it exists. Here we are seeing these 2 tanks being played.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Yeah, no, we get to be treated as some more Growlu Widow, which is going to be very exciting. He's going to be going up against Alcura, who is traditionally a ball one trick, also plays some Doom team. And there he goes, just absolutely dominating Growlu in the neutral. Exactly what you like to see.
I don't think anyone knew where Fly was, so hanging Torbjorn, I called it. Either way, the Widow did a pretty good job there of just being sneaky, taking the first shot, rotating all the way back around. Will be soon behind the cart, not entirely sure if they're even going to get there in time for any real rotation. You do have Hoplots going down to a fire strike, not really sure how, but why we do know is now again in the backline trying to 1v1 Nano Rockets, but neither really getting too much out of that. Actually, both DPS on the side of the defense are now trying to 1v1 a lone Lucio, so I guess if you're Nano Rocket, you take those while the rest of the fight is going on over towards the end of first point. However, the kill feed's going entirely in favor of the defense. As I say that, though, Caster Curse, and it looks like the cart will be stopping there as the offense doesn't really know their rights from their left. Solo Shatter onto the Torm. And I don't know what else I was expecting, and to be entirely honest.
Yeah, no, we see Joey showing off some of that Torbjorn gameplay. Obviously, playing with one hand, it helps to have an auto aim button, such as the turret. to help you out here, but unfortunately not able to help out is exactly soon enough. Growlu now will be on the flank, hitting, he will get the Doomfist, but he will get destroyed by Merc on the Ana. Once again, Growlu just showing us how well he can feed. It is obviously one of his best strategies when it comes to Overwatch. It's one of the only things he's actually good at, and he's doing it very well for us in this match tonight.
Dear, okay, Nanorocket's getting booped off into the drink. Joey swapping over to the Hanzo, but not finding too much value out of it as Mr. Crit is right there to hook him. And you can only react so quickly when you have one hand on two keyboards. So Joey not having probably a fun time. Not entirely sure, I can't hear him, but he's either laughing or crying, I have to assume, at this point. Not really allowed to exist for more than a few seconds in each fight.
Let them up.
Oh, Karkatek falling incredibly low. Will get taken out by Mushroom. Now on the Zarya as opposed to the Brigitte from the last round. Does have the Graviton Surge, but not opting to use it onto Bishop. Doesn't even need to. Bishop just melts, and where did that go? Oh, there it is. It's underneath. Thought it went over top and through towards the defender's spawn. Looks like Red Team might actually be able to capture this, though. No, as I say that, Kartik contests for just a brief period, but not really for that long. Growlu actually finding a few kills in the meantime, and that will be the cart pushing on towards the bridge.
Yeah, Kartik now has decided to stop throwing on the Doomfist, or actually it seems he's giving it over to Y now. Gonna be onto the Kree of his own. Kartik is fresh off his victory in the Widow 1v1 tournament, so probably feeling himself on that head scan a little bit more than on the Doomfist. Cloud Dog actually finds Poplots in the backline. Poplots trying to run it a little bit too hard. Poplots himself is a little bit of a feeder. You know, was formerly in South American Contenders, and it seems as he hasn't retained any of that skill.
Wait, he's legitimately in South American Contenders?
I think he made Contenders trials. I'm not sure if he was actually in Contenders, but he said that he played for a Contenders team, which I would believe.
That's funny. We do have a Shatter coming in from, who's that, Bishop, getting quite a few members of the red team on the ground. Joey really the only one falling immediately thereafter, although Poplots does get the better of Nanorocket. Once again, Nanorocket just taking the frog thing a bit too seriously, likes the canals, but doesn't realize there is a death wall right above them. So red team having a bit of trouble.
I don't even know what to analyze here. I mean, this is just terrible Overwatch all around. There's no one doing anything correctly, and you know that's kind of what makes Pugs fun at this point. You know, none of these players are trying very hard. Not that they would be doing any better if they were.
Why going in using basically all of his cooldowns to engage with the Doomfist, not really giving him any opportunity to back out. Reed tossing in the mines, but not really any pressure to push the blue team back towards them, so it really only separates the front line and the back line briefly, but I'm not sure if Mr. Crit really cares too much. You do have a High Noon coming in from Growlu. Not finding anything, but the kills are coming in favor of the offense regardless. It looks like blue team are just resetting for potentially one final recontest. Oh, Kartik. We hardly do.
Kartik not having a very good time trying to play the Kree into what the enemy team is running. Not that he's getting any resources from his own team, comparatively.
Crab Dragons is the first semblance of teamwork we've seen all stream long, and Joey actually gets a 3K despite trying to stream while playing at the same time. A little bit of credit given there. Kartik, you can't kill someone if they're inside the lamp, as Clown Dog has so appropriately demonstrated, as it were.
Yeah, Growlu able to distract the enemy, as he's claiming, by going behind, feeding his brains out, and allowing Joey to get that big grab dragons off. Or at least that's what he's claiming happened. In reality, I think it was, you know, not related whatsoever.
So another Shatter coming in. B team, red team here doesn't really have an answer to either of those. Really beat coming in from Nano, but it doesn't really matter as no one was really alive to get it, at least in a meaningful way. However, Reed does get a kill. He's in rather deep. Nanoed going in onto Nanorocket will get taken out as a result, and Kartik and Y actually cleaning up a little bit. Okay, I don't think there's any justification for that one. The Nano boost onto Kartik, and no one else was around. I don't think he even shot anyone with the Nano on. Doesn't matter though, that was quite a bit of Kree diff if I ever saw it.
And Growlu's gonna play ping for that one. quite know if that's
okay.
that's what happened there, but you know that is going to be the excuse he comes up with now as the coach of Council of Anime Girls. I can hear a lot of excuses from Growlu. He's very good at making them. It's kind of his thing. I don't know what to tell you.
Excuses will only get you so far, and won't get the payload very far whatsoever. Ironically enough, Kartik tossing in the high noon, zoning high noon, I guess? No, he almost found Growlu, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, or Junkrat, as it were, as Y will be the first to fall. Growlu will get revenge onto Kartik, and a little bit of BM in chat for the zoning high noon as well. Looks like the defense just has to back up and re-gauge their attempt at approaching this. Solo grab onto the Lucio, but Poplots does have the beat ready and available, so they will survive for a brief period and will seemingly get out with Reed not being quite so lucky.
So the defense will actually be able to pull together a hold here. I don't know if the members of the red team will actually be able to touch the point now with only 6 seconds remaining.
Joey tossing in the dragons may be a bit hopeful this time around without the grab, although Bishop did offer himself up to sacrifice, as it didn't really matter since the offense was only going to delay the inevitable.
0-2.
Yeah, and a very interesting first round here for this this roasted Pugs match on Rialto. Pretty decent push there from the red team. They are going to get themselves quite a bit of progress on the point, but there needs to be some more drastic changes if they want to be able to hold this. The blue team doing a great job stopping them there at the end, and if they can keep that going on the attack, well, they should have no problem finishing this map.
Joey, don't apologize. You got what was probably play of the game. You're the one carrying your team.
Ready for battle.
Either way, you know, I'll have Joey on these and Yada, a little bit more of a passive hero than really anything to do with the hits gang. Growlu deciding to follow Nano Rocket's lead from the previous round and take a dip. Okay, Reed doing the same, so we're just seeing a little bit of a team swim into the about 20 seconds remaining prior.
It's such a nice day out, you know, they just all wanted to cool off a little bit in the canals of Rialto.
I am not entirely sure what the weather is like right now, words. You could tell I'm supposed to be a caster, but the weather in Italy is probably rather good right now, so I'm sure that's somewhat refreshing, but they don't have too much time to recollect themselves. Close hold coming in for 3 members of the defense now. The red team not really finding much, as Poplots gets a 2k with the boop. Okay, well, actually no, that was just 1 environmental and then 1 damage kill. Either way, you take those.
Yeah, Poplots, a very solid Lucio player. I mentioned his run in South American contenders. Again, I'm not sure if it was actual contenders or trials, but he is still a very good player, very high-ranked Lucio player. Known for his Reddit abilities. He was our T-Mobile MVP of Season 3 Minors, if you will. So, very talented player overall.
Oh, Grella, you cannot lose this 1v1 to a Lucio. Aim or fall off. From the spam in chat, I don't think that was intended from Growlu. Blinks completely off the map, and that's probably going to be most of first point for the blue team here, as there's not too much of a contention besides Mushroom on the Zarya, but I mean, how much can that do? The flashbang from Nano Rocket not really finding anything, and he pays for it with his life. Mr. Crit cleaning that one up. Somehow Mushroom is staying alive for a decent amount of time, but I mean, Bishop is just kind of running over anyone that's not the Zarya. As I say that, he runs over the Zarya as well, so it's really a foregone conclusion at this point, it feels.
Yeah, we don't see...
Kill the map!
It's harder than it looks, right? He's got a weird hitbox.
He's still going! How is it so hard to kill a Baptiste? He's not that mobile.
You got the Zarya, bro.
Thank you! That was like 30 seconds to kill a single Baptiste who didn't have lamp for like 20 seconds. Oh dear, no. Mushroom is back. Okay, they get it. It's a little bit sloppy, but I mean that's the entire definition of these pugs, so...
Yeah, no, we Yeah, see, some very interesting gameplay there. A lot of feeding all around from all sides, but less feeding on the side of the blue team, despite Alcura's best efforts there on the Reinhardt. And now red team is in a pretty precarious position here, giving up so much point presence, or I should say cart progress. Mushroom whips the grab once again. We get to see how Brig players just do not understand how to play this game. Getting destroyed by Kartik on the Echo. This guy is really just not having a good time.
Solo grab. The Lucio actually will get the kill, so Poplots and his South American experience is not enough to stay alive in that case, about 15% away from his beat. Yeah, but as you said, the red team just giving up so much cart progress because they don't really have a main tank if you think about it, or not really think about it that much, because they have two off tanks. Neither of them can really take space, as opposed to a Reinhardt or a Roadhog, so they're just kind of stuck existing. Oh,
Joey has openly admitted to stream sniping his opponent in that 1v1. Unfortunately, still not able to get the win. That's just what happens when you produce too much Overwatch and aren't able to play it yourself. You are just a trash player overall. Only having the abilities in the observer cam, your mechanics on the actual characters get so rusty.
Joey now onto arguably one of the most mechanically demanding heroes in the game. I don't know how that's going to help or hinder him in these efforts, but thus far the red team is doing decent installing the carts, so I guess I can't really blame him until they stop installing the cart. Oh dear, you have Merc in a very precarious position, but somehow gets out of it. The Moth persists for just a little bit, but really nice anti-nade from Joey. I gotta give him credit where credit is due. Oh, it doesn't look like he will last for too much longer. Never mind, his team comes back, and, well, he does get hooked anyway, so I guess that was a bit of a cast or curse. The cart isn't really moving too much, but Kartik is having fun on the Echo. Probably the only person having fun at this moment in time. Getting, 6 high noons in a single fight is great game design. Thanks for the...
Yes, Echo definitely a very balanced character all the way around. No issues whatsoever with that character that can be exploited at all. Overwatch League pros must love the 6 Diva Bombs in an ultimate fight meta that we're seeing right now. And actually, red team will be taking this back. It looked like it was going in favor of the blue team, but that ult from Ree, they should secure it.
Yeah, defense will persist. However, blue team does have plenty of time still, so don't get your hopes up too much. Joey isn't quite out of the woods. However, speaking of Joey, he is coming up onto that nano boost. Be interesting to see who he tosses it on, only for them to feed and get nothing out of it, such as the life of an Ana. A little bit of a tracer duel, but looks like Raulu not so much chickens out of it as much as misses the blink and goes to the low ground, is forced out of position and getting rather low. Him and Mr. Crit trading back and forth. Mr. Crit will not last very long, but as all of that is going on, the tracer duel, the rest of Growler's team is slowly falling, so he has to come back and try and carry this, but as we've seen before, that can be pretty difficult to 1v5. As you can see, he does get the health pack once again, but 1v3ing is not necessarily Tracer's best forte. Speaking of 1v3ing, Poplots is desperately trying to make something happen, trying to bully Joey, who now doesn't have an anti-nade. Might even be seeing a solo beat come out of Poplots. It's using necessary. The nano boost coming out onto Mushroom. Not entirely sure why that happened, but Joey just getting bullied out. Poplots now stuck in I don't even know what to call this position. Suicide, I guess, would be a good start. There's no way he's getting out alive.
Certainly not here. Clown Dog gonna pop that. Oh, he gets solo shattered by Valkyra on the Reinhardt.
Oh no. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. No one's gonna use the window. Not even the Baptista. Did they?
C9, 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 C9. C9.
Oh, yeah, no, shocker there that the one multi-kill in the entire map was the play of the game. Grab Dragon, press Q to win.
There you go. And that's just an Overwatch producer diff right there. That's a Nest producer diff. That's all that is. And yeah, that is going to wrap up our second map here of these roasted pugs. We're going to throw it to another break as we get another lobby sorted. So make sure you don't go anywhere if you want to catch some more of this action.
lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend.
And welcome back to what is probably going to be the last map of the bunch, as the lobby is slowly bleeding players. Misfit is now in, so I'm going to be solo casting this. We're on King's Row to end it off, and we told them ideally goats, but there's technically no hero limits, so we're going to be seeing a whole lot of chaos here, folks. Stick with us as we get to see whatever unholy concoctions these teams decide to run out with. Personally, I'm going to roast them quite a bit if they don't do any goats, because I kind of miss it, but I also kind of don't. I look back on the era fondly, but I'm glad that we're in 2-2-2, personally speaking. Either way, we get an idea of what they are going to run. Cough goats. Better be goats. I don't care about what variant, it just has to be something. Let's see. Okay, well, yeah. We currently have 6 Widowmakers, which is, if you don't think about it at all, and close your eyes and cover your ears, you can call it goats.
Hello.
I am going to be shocked if anyone hits any amount of headshots outside of, like, maybe Growlu or McNooby. We do have a bold strategy right now on the attacking side, the red team, where it looks like they are going to be opting for potentially 5 Widows, currently 4, and at the very least 1 Mercy for res. How they're going to get that res off, I don't know, but they'll get through this, I'm confident. Y seems to be inactive, so it's going to be a full-on 5v6. 4v6, really, if you think about it, but now it's a 4v5, with Merc nearly dying, Bread getting McNooby, but Clown Dog actually finding Nano Rocket. McNooby now back into the fray, but Raph killing Misfit almost immediately. Kills going left and right, but it doesn't really seem to matter as the red team isn't pushing their advantage, not putting any pressure onto the point. Not really confident that they could or couldn't, as they really don't have anyone to take space. But then again, neither does the defense. Again, more kills going in favor of the blue team for the time being, but with McNooby back as well as being Mercy pocketed. Oh! That was a gnarly shot. I don't know if the stream caught that, but McNooby just going a little bit crazy right now. The Mercy pocket does wonders, I suppose. Clown Dog trying to put his name back on the board. Bishop still has yet to leave spawn with, looks like Joey now throwing in as well, so I'm not entirely sure what you're going to be seeing aside from Joey's perspective, but that's neither here nor there, because it looks like the offense are finally going to be taking control of this point for, at the very least, a brief period. I'm really not sure about the logistics of trying to retake this with a 5 Widows and a Mercy, but we're going to be seeing those attempts now if they so desire. It looks like they're just going to be setting up and taking sight lines. Never mind. Okay, Joey decided to come out and actually dick on Reed, as it turns out. So Joey, level 1 account, no one checked for Smurfs, may very well be a Smurf finding Growlu as well. Joey deciding that he's in fact in this lobby as well. doing rather well, locking down the sight lines. And it looks like the card's just gonna casually move forward, as I don't think the blue team has gotten a kill in a pretty darn good amount of time. Nope, there we go. Okay, so it takes the mercy on the blue team to get any amount of kills. Finally have Bread taking out Joey with a bit of a melee kill. Reed actually taking out Clown Dog as well with some melees. But the red team are just creating what feels like 3 or 4 different sight lines all at once. Angles that they have to respect. If you're on the defense, McNoby's still just running amok. I don't think he's died in quite a while. You have Reed dancing the dance of death, which is not exactly what his intents were, but the red team, I think, has this offense locked down. I'll be curious to see on the next round whether or not that means I'm observing whether or not that means if the offense just has an inherent advantage here, or what have you. Maybe not so much now that we're getting into this point. Raph deciding to get a little bit into the action, pulling out the Glock, and Reed lighting up the kill feed. 3 different ways to Sunday, and that's going to stop the card. Granted, there's 5 minutes, so I mean, there's plenty of time to find your bearings. Growlu deciding to... a little bit of suicide is in order, almost. Bites the bucket there, bites the bullet, kicks the bucket. Those are the words I'm looking for, but it doesn't really matter because it looks like the red team are just kind of stuck in their spawn. As I say that, they light up the kill feed, and we now have a Torb on board. Misfit has had enough of this insanity and decides to go for a little bit of dementia. While we're at it, we have yet more kills coming in favor of the red team. And red team can see literally everything, not just in King's Row, but the entirety of Overwatch all together. They're currently observing what's happening back in Rialto, as Nat had no chance whatsoever. The sights have now worn off for Nat, and they're still cycling through them on the offense. However, the cart has not moved in a little while. There we go, it's starting to get back into it. Misfit doing his darndest to push the EMP over top the Omnic City. For those who pay attention or care about the Overwatch lore, technically the offense are dastardly evildoers trying to kill an entire city of Omnics underneath London itself, but the blue team in the meantime doing their best to defend the Torb, not quite the miracle worker Misfit may have been hoping for, as he swaps over to the Widowmaker once again. Raulu is typing something indecipherable in chat. He may or may not be possessed by the devil himself, but it doesn't really matter, as his team is losing a lot of these Widow duels. However, the card isn't moving, so I suppose there is silver linings. You can really tell the main tanks in the lobby for the ones who just aren't getting kills at all whatsoever. Joey not being one of those, as he's getting quite a good amount of kills in his quote-unquote observing, now finding 3 in this engagement alone as the cart pushes ever closer. However, Bread does have those sights up, meaning that there is a little bit of danger pushing so far forward. The Widowmaker's on the left side, almost taking out Joey, but he will live to observe for at least a few more seconds while Growlu comes out. But there's no one to contest Cart, as Raph swaps over to the Bastion, but not in time. I can't believe I'm saying it, but a team of 5 Widowmakers and a Mercy full-capped King's Row. Side note, I'm terribly disappointed about no goats. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Select your hero.
I have to assume the stream can now see the match chat. So you can just bask in that glory for yourself. Misfits getting a little bit of flame thrown his way as well. And I personally hope we see something outside of just 6 Widowmakers coming into this next round. Or I guess 5 Widowmakers and a Mercy, potentially a surprise Torb thrown into the mix. Okay. Okay. This is a little bit more like it. We're seeing 5 Roadhogs and a Torbjorn. I myself have dabbled in 5 tanks and a Lucio way back in the day. Rather fun, especially on this map. Whereas we're seeing the potential for triple Nanoblade. Bishop actually opting over to the Widowmaker as opposed to whatever they were on previously. I'm completely forgetting. I'm more drooling over the potential of 3 Nanoblades all at once. I really hope they wait to pop all 6 ultimates at the same time. That would be glorious, and I want to see it. However, they would have to coordinate who they Nano Boost. Like which Ana gets which person and where they'll be positioned. Otherwise, do the nanos stack? This is real Overwatch theory crafting. Oh dear, Joey immediately getting pressured out. The observer is now sent back to spawn to observe there. Merc doing too well as he doesn't have his breather, or perhaps doesn't feel the pressure to do it. Speaking of pressure, Joey now over to the McCree to do something, I am assuming. But it'll take a little while for him to get back from spawn. Bishop is doing Lord knows what. Way off, I believe he might have died. But the Genji is not as effective as they may have hoped, especially against the the Roadhogs. Merc taking out Nano Rocket and giving the obligatory question mark. Raph actually sleeps Joey and will be taken out by Reed. Main tank on Genji, I'm sure he's thrilled about the concept. Growlu getting double hooked there. A little bit of odd optics from his perspective, but it doesn't really matter as the Roadhogs are basically uncontested. They'll have one fall, but they still have so many others remaining, and the anti-nades are not quite what is needed here. You have a few nano boosts and a few blades being built up slowly, so how are they going to manage to screw this one up? How are the blades even going to accomplish anything is my question, as you have basically everyone on the side of the defense breathing down their necks consistently. I believe they are actually just waiting for six ultimates on the side of the offense to do anything, which is mildly hilarious. Here we go, there's one Nano Blade, gets hooked and almost immediately countered. 3 successful Nano Blades. I'm impressed with that level of coordination, but the whole Hogs prevents anything from happening. All that effort wasted for naught. And Nano Rocket just taking a fistful of shrapnel from Misfit. However, the Anas are now starting to come in. Bread getting nanoed from that, so perhaps a rather quick Nano boost being built up, and this composition, while not optimal, is just what they needed to capture first point, I suppose. Oh dear, Clown Dog. That is not the time nor the place for for a whole hog with the obligatory sits from Growlu. A little bit of BM and extreme amounts of pressure very far forward in the front line. Growlu getting rather close to his own blade, but none of the 3 Anas have a nano boost coming up online. I believe that is Growlu way in the back line. Yes, does have the blade, pops it, and gets immediately domed by 2 Baptistes. I am sure that one's not going to sit very well. Now you have a little bit of a swap coming in on the side of the defense. 5 Baptistes and a Brigitte. I feel like this is probably the worst possible composition to play up against 3 Nano Blades, but that's neither here nor there because they're going to have all the time in the world to build up these Ant Matrixes and do something, although without any tanks to build ultimates off of. I'm not entirely sure how quickly these boosts will be building, especially with the fact that you have 6 healers stealing all of the healing for themselves. As you can see, the ult charge is rather dismal. So outside of any damage or stuns, say from the Brigitte, the Baptistes are somewhat useless. I gotta be honest. Clown Dog looking for something. A decent amount of pressure being applied from the various anti-nades, but not too much happening otherwise. The cards are kinda chilling. Bread now has their nano boost as well as Raph building up to it, but none of the Genjis are quite ready. The Weeb's just a little bit far behind when it mattered most, but I'm not sure if it really mattered now that I say that, because the kills are coming in, rolling forth. And this will be the Blue Tide running forward. And probably capturing second, unless they decide to C9 once again, which is possible, but unlikely. All things considered. Growlu probably typing in chat, considering he's just standing there menacingly, and somehow Bishop does not notice him. And may even die to Growlu. Not quite yet. We do have quite a few aggressive swaps coming in on the side of the defense. The Dragon Blade getting completely shut down from Growlo. I believe it's the second time now he's attempted to go in too deep, fed, and lost his Dragon Blade. As a result, McNoobie utterly annihilated by two separate Anas. There's only so much you can do as a 150 HP Tracer when they have basically sleep on cooldown. Another Dragon Blade coming in. This one not nanoed as well, but Nat and Growlu are nanoed. Neither of them really getting much out of it. However, Nano Rocket will be cleaning up the kill feed with multiple dashes. Not quite the ghost dashes, so I'm not fully impressed. As well as taking the face full of Cloud Nog's DPS coming through the Matrix, doing something for once. All it took was for him to be on his normal role, I suppose. The Baptiste, he's rather good at it, and I guess should stick to it, if you ask his team. Some more swaps coming in on the defense now. 3 Torbjorns. I cannot count, but I don't have to. I'm just casting. And it looks like Bread is now over to Lucio Rap, giving a little bit of a chunky ult battery for the red team. I'm sure No Pressure and Burke will be grateful to the contributions for the ult economy. We have a few stuns coming in. Bishop stood no chance whatsoever, as well as No Pressure Joey. I'm sure loving the fact that he could not exist for longer than a few seconds at a time, but you have multiple crossfires coming in from these Torb turrets. That is something we have not seen since, well, Overwatch's launch, give or take. We have a nano boosted Roadhog on the points, but it didn't last for very long. I'm not sure if he just didn't have his breather or if he decided not to use it. Either way, it doesn't matter because he is back into spawn. Growlu trying to get something out of his Dragon Blade, and for once will find a kill, but gets the ultimate diss of dying to a Torbjorn turret. That is all she wrote for this defense. For the time, or sorry, for this offense for the time being, as they are now swapping almost entirely off of the Genji and over to a more sniper-centric. Bishop walks off the map,
60 seconds.
so that is now a thing. Not entirely sure what happened there, but Bishop now has to live with that fact. A decent amount of snipers coming into the Torbjorn turrets, but there's so many of them placed around precariously across the point. Are they really going to make a difference? And are they going to be able to poke them out? My guess would be no, as almost every single person on the side of the offense is about 10 HP, as you may or may not be seeing. Actually, no, you can't see. I suppose if Joey gets into the fight, you'll see briefly. Let's take a look at Joey, see what the stream is actually seeing for once. See, yeah, that's yeah. No healers will do that to a team. Bringing it back to the good old days prior to 222 luck. Alright, I think it's not so good. Oh, my dear Reed, that is not how you Dragon Blade. Nat poking out, I suppose, offering themselves up to the Torbjorn sacrifice bin. A touch does come in, I'm not entirely sure from who, as Joey's jumping around point, trying to find a pulse bomb. Actually, no stick it on the Raph, not get the final blow. But no one can touch. And that is going to be red team taking it. At the end of the day, I haven't been keeping track. I don't think the stream's been keeping track. I don't expect anyone in chat to be keeping track. But we can at least appreciate that Reed got sharpshooter play of the game. I have no idea what this could be. Okay, well, that's a one miss. That's one kill. That's another kill. And 3.
Yeah, notice how I'm not dying in that. You know why? It's because I'm just the best widow in the lobby. What can I say?
Unfortunately, you swapped off the Widow.
Several times.
That's why. Actually, no, you won. I was gonna say that's why you lost, but you were on the other team. Gotcha.
Yeah, no,
well,
it was truly just a Torb difference. There's nothing else we can say. We did have some losers on our team that were refusing to switch to the Torbjorn, but we had enough turrets in the end for our defense to be truly impregnable.
Dare I say that may have been a healer difference, because at the very end, the blue team didn't even have healers. But either way, I think that's where we're going to end it. The lobby is bleeding players even more now, and we had to stretch to get 12 for that. So I hope you all enjoyed whatever the hell this was. It was certainly a trip. So without any further ado, just subscribe or follow the Twitch. I don't know if they have subscriptions. Join the Discord, follow the Twitter, all that good stuff for Owlet. And I've been Acronator, Joey and Misfits helping out with production. And have a good night.
Lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I